What's up guys, Earl here of Tech, and Doogee is known to be one of the biggest rugged smartphone manufacturers in the world. Last June 2021, they released this Doogee S97 Pro, which is the first ever rugged smartphone that packs a 40-meter professional laser rangefinder. We've been using this phone for quite a while now, and here's what we think. First, let's talk about the design. As a rugged smartphone, the Doogee S97 Pro is a pretty chunky and tough device. This is so far the heaviest smartphone that we've reviewed recently, weighing in at 350 grams given its massive battery. The body is made out of a mixture of a polycarbonate material, rubber, and metal materials. And like most rugged smartphones, the S97 Pro features an IP68 and IP69K immersion protection, so it is resistant to dust and can survive being subjected to high pressure and high temperature spray downs. Aside from that, this device also passed MIL STD A10G tests. Now, the Doogee S97 Pro is available in 3 different colors, namely Orange Tiger, Red Lava, and Silver Black, which is the one we have. Flipping to its front, we get a large 6.39 inches LCD display with Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and a pre-installed screen protector for additional protection. The bezels also look relatively slim, and the chin part looking a little bit thicker. There's also a hole punch notch on the upper left of the screen for the selfie camera, while found above it is the earpiece. Looking on the right side, and you'll find its volume rocker, power button, and fingerprint scanner. Meanwhile, on the right are the 2 custom function keys and a hybrid dual SIM card tray. The buttons are made out of metal and they are tactile, firm, and quiet. They are also easy to reach. Down at the bottom, we have the main microphone, USB-C port hidden behind a rubber flap, and a loudspeaker. At the top, we have one of its top feature, which is the laser rangefinder. It is also one of the reasons why this device is big. Its laser rangefinder feature is cool and very useful for DIY people and handymen. It measures the length, width, and height of anything up to 40 meters. There are different measurement modes. There's single measurement, area measurement, and volume measurement. Overall, the design is solid and surely robust. Just make sure not to use it while you're lying down to avoid dropping it on your face. More on the display, as I've mentioned, the S97 Pro is equipped with 6.39-inch HD Plus LCD dot screen with Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection. Despite having an LCD panel, it produces punchy colors and decent viewing angles. However, since we do get a 720p display, don't expect too much to have sharp picture quality, especially when you're reading text. But overall, the display is decent and will suffice your daily needs. The display gets plenty bright and is readable even under direct sunlight. Audio-wise, the phone comes with a single downward-firing speaker and it gets really loud. And that's basically it. And it seems that there is a missed opportunity to make full use of the phone's larger design to make the sound quality acceptable. But considering the phone's main purpose, this will be an acceptable trade-off as you won't really use it to enjoy media on its own. An FM radio is pre-installed, which is handy for those times you're off the grid and you need some way to get updated on what's happening. As for software, the S97 Pro runs on Android 11. It has a very clean UI and mostly resembles stock Android. Pre-installed apps are kept at minimum, which only includes the standard Google apps and a couple of proprietary apps like the Rangefinder app. When it comes to features, it has dark mode, super screenshot, underwater camera, and hide notch. You can also personalize the icons, change the font and display size, and on-screen buttons for navigation. Storage-wise, we're getting 128 gigs of storage space, and if that's not enough, you can expand it to 256 gigs via the micro SD card. Under the hood, the phone is powered by a MediaTek Helio G95 that is paired with a Mali G76MC4 GPU, 8 gigs of RAM, and 128 gigs of internal storage. In our experience, the chipset is effective enough to offer flawless performance while multitasking. Frame drops are expected when playing graphically intensive games like Genshin Impact, Call of Duty Mobile, and Asphalt 9, but these can be played with the default or the lowest settings without too much frustration. Thermals aren't also an issue since the large size means more surface for heat to dissipate, and a lower tier processor means that there's not much heat to process at all. For some numbers, here are the benchmark scores that we got. For biometrics, there is a side-mounted fingerprint sensor and a face recognition on board. And both methods have quite a delay, but they are both reliable nonetheless. Moving on to the cameras, the Doogee S97 Pro features Samsung quad rear cameras with a 48MP f1.8 main, an 8MP f2.2 wide, a 2MP f2.8 macro, and a 2MP f2.8 portrait lens. Up front is a 16MP Samsung f2.0 selfie camera. When it comes to its camera features, there are several modes for you to choose from, such as panorama, HDR, macro, mono, and night. There's also an underwater camera feature where you can activate under the settings. Quality-wise, it actually works well and can produce images with nice colors, dynamic range, and sufficient details. Taking pictures isn't snappy, which is quite a downer. Using the macro lens isn't quite a fun and not useful at all. The portrait mode is okay as it has good background separation and colors are vibrant enough. For low light situations, photos often tend to come out noisy and grainy, which is understandable. As for the night mode, it didn't make that much of a difference, but there is a slight boost. Now for selfies, they're usable for social media postings, especially if you have good lighting and details are preserved. There's no beauty mode option, which is unusual for a smartphone nowadays. When it comes to video, the Doogee S97 Pro can shoot up to 4K in 30 frames per second, and the quality is nice with decent colors. However, its autofocus can get jittery. It also lacks video stabilization, so it's sensitive to movements. The Doogee S97 Pro comes with the usual connectivity features such as dual SIM, 4G LTE, Bluetooth 5.0, GPS, NFC, and USB Type-C. For battery, we have an enormous 8500mAh battery with support for 33W fast charging. You'll definitely survive throughout a whole day or even more with this device. Charging it from 0 to 100 took us around 2.5 hours. PC Mark battery test yielded 14 hours and 16 minutes, while in our standard video loop test, which involves playing a 1080p clip on loop in airplane mode at 50% brightness and volume with headset plugged in, yielded a 31 hours and 25 minutes score, which is pretty impressive. So to conclude this video, Doogee has done a pretty good job by releasing a rugged smartphone for years. If your work demands measuring a lot of stuff, the best available ingress protection, and a humongous battery life, then this phone will suit your needs. However, its low screen resolution and its bulk prevents this from becoming a device you can use in and out of the field. Still, for those who have a need for this kind of niche functionality, and for those who want a phone that can last for days in an emergency, this phone can be a good investment. The Doogee S97 Pro is officially priced at $399.99, but you can get this through Doogee flagship stores at Lazada for around 15,000 pesos. So what do you guys think about the Doogee S97 Pro? Do let us know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Narelle, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.